Okay, everybody, welcome to lesson 8. You are literally 2 lessons away from the end of Bootstrap. So, really, really nice work. You've learned so much. And in this lesson, what we're covering is drop down menus. Drop down menus are a great way to add more information to our nav bars without creating a really distracting or overcrowded interface. And again, in this case, Bootstrap has some really useful classes for creating drop-down menus. We're going to practice with a few of these. In our first exercise, World Traveler, this is the homepage for a really small travel agency. They have a drop-down menu for you to choose which country or city you'd like to visit. The drop-down menu is divided by continents, and each continent has a header to label that part of the menu. So North America, South America, Asia, Africa, etc. And then our job is to add 2 countries or cities as menu choices for each continent, and there's already one added for us in Asia, so that could be an example. The links don't take us to any real pages, but they can if we want. And if your dividers aren't showing up, you can try resetting the zoom on your browser, and that should fix the issue. Let's go ahead and get started. So first, let's run what we have, and let's open it up in a new window. This will be the best way to view our dropdown. So the background has this very nice world map. And if you pull down the drop down menu, you'll see that you have a section for Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, South America. They left out Africa and Antarctica, which I believe is its own continent. But we're going to work with what we have and just add in a couple of cities or countries in each of these. So over in the HTML, let's take a look and see what's creating this. So to create the drop-down menu, you basically need 3 things. Okay, first you need a div with the class drop-down, so you can see that here on line 22. The second thing is the button. Okay, your drop-down menu needs to drop down from somewhere, so that's going to be the button. The button needs some important classes like, of course, button, but it's going to need this drop-down toggle class, and it's going to need this data toggle attribute. We'll practice creating this in a moment, but for now, just know that the second thing you're going to need after the div with the drop-down class is the button. Last but not least, you're going to need the drop-down menu itself. So in this case, we use an unordered list, very easy to create that drop-down, and we need the drop-down menu class. Okay, so those are the 3 things. You have your div, your button, and your drop-down list. Now let's go ahead and add in our cities using the structure we have here. So I can see that we have one list item that acts as the header, and that is created with just the drop-down header class. Okay, so that gives you this style. And then you have the link in the next list item. So just to make things easy, I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And I'm going to paste it down here. And maybe in Asia, I choose a different country like Vietnam. Okay, if I run this code, I will see that I now have another option. And you can keep going down. So in Australia, okay, maybe you add in a couple of cities. The first one that's coming to my mind is Sydney. And sadly, that's the only one I know off the top of my head. I pulled up this Wikipedia article list of countries and territories by continent. So if I look up actually major cities in Australia, I should get some idea. So there's Sydney, Melbourne, I knew that one actually, Brisbane, Perth. Let's say you want to add in the second major city there, so Melbourne. I think you get the idea. This is pretty much going to be the same thing all throughout the rest of your list. And you always want to rerun and make sure that it's working. So I now see 2 options under Australia. Let's do this one more time, and then I think you got it from here. So Europe, I'll add in 2 more options. Some options for travel, Italy, and maybe France. Beautiful. All right, so you're just going to repeat this throughout the rest of your list. This is just getting us started. Building drop-down menus. We're going to obviously go up here as we continue, but let me make sure that's all we're doing. And again, the links don't have to take you anywhere, but they can if you want to. Right now, they're just set to this hashtag symbol, which is an anchor. I explained earlier, these could take you to different parts of your web page. If you had an ID equals hashtag, it would take you there. But in this case, it's just a placeholder. Very nice work. We're just getting started. This is exercise one. Keep up the great work. Any questions, please let me know.